وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين.
The World Cup. The World Cup is a waste. The World Cup is a waste of time. The World Cup is a waste of energy. The World Cup is a joke. The World Cup is haram. Soccer, football is not haram. Be that to he. Football is not haram. But because it makes the people munshaghirin an al-wajib, it becomes haram. How many Muslims are not praying because of the World Cup? The Prophet was asked, Ya Rasulullah, what's the worst sin? He said, al-ishraku billah. The man said, and then after that, he said, uquq al-walidain. So, during the World Cup, the Muslims are preoccupied and busy not praying to Allah Azza wa Jal. How many don't pray? Salah come and go and they don't pray. What about the uquq al-walidain? I saw by the Lord of the Kaaba with my own eyes how a mother told her child while the game was going, go and get this and go and get that. Go and do this and go and do that. The boy tajahala ummahu. He acted like he didn't hear. She got upset and cried, hey, go and do that. Hey, I don't want to go do that. Why? Because of a few men running around kicking a ball and their awrat are showing? Haram. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the men, and he said to that man, if you can, don't leave anyone, لا تترك أحدا يطلع على عورتك. Don't let anybody see your aura except your wife or your right-hand possession. If you go to the hospital, it's something like that. But men are not supposed to be looking at the awrat of other men. The aura is that thing that should be covered. How in the world do the Muslims who find those hadith in Allah yuhibbu ma'ali al-umur wa yakrahu safsafaha? Allah loves those things that you engage yourselves in that are high and exalted, like getting your own business, like building a masjid, like establishing Islam in the world, like marrying off your children, like bringing your mother to you and taking care of your mother. Ma'ali al-umur. That's what men busy themselves with. Men do not sit around watching people kick a ball. Now, don't get it wrong. I'm not talking down on you. I'm from America. I grew up with American football, which I love. I grew up with American basketball, which I love. Baseball, which I love. All of that. I'm not saying to you I can't understand and I can't relate to the excitement of the World Cup. No. But I'm not going to sit and watch the Super Bowl like that. And one commercial in the Super Bowl, the main tournament in America, the Super Bowl, the World Series of baseball, the World Series. And that's that arrogance of the American people. That's the arrogance of Europeans, that the World Series, everybody in the world ain't playing in that. How did it become the World Series? I can see the World Cup. Everybody's participating for the most part. So one commercial doing a Super Bowl, $8 million? $8 million? Do you know what $8 million can do for the Muslim community, our masjid? Do you know what they can do? Now let's take a look at this israf. The country of Qatar. Qatar is a beautiful country. And as an Ajami person who accepted al-Islam, I have a lot of love and respect for the Qatariyin. May Allah give barakah to the Qatari people. They are from the most generous people out of Wajh al-Ard. You have not seen karam, till you saw people from Qatar. Did you people know that the Qatar people spend more money on Palestine than any other country? Did you know that? $400 million every year on Palestine. Every year. Syria and those misplaced people in Syria. Qatar spend more money on the Syrian people than anybody else. The people from Qatar. I'm impressed and I have respect for the leadership of Qatar during the World Cup. And that they were very intelligent when they were dealing with the backlash of what our religion is. They were dealing with what their customs were. We're not going to allow you people to drink any and everywhere. You can drink in some places, but you can't drink any and everywhere. Okay, something is better than nothing. لا تبخسوا الناس أشياءهم. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm going to acknowledge and recognize Qatar, those are some good people. And Allah is their hasib. Some people have hasad and haqd from some of the dual Khalijiyya. I'm not from those people. I'm not from those people, nor do I have ghulu in them. Either way. Either way. I've been to Indonesia. I've been to many places in Africa. I've been to Malaysia. When I went there, I saw 1 million masjids that were built by the Qatariyun, people from Qatar. In the World Cup, there was a neighborhood of Qatari people. They got all of the people in their neighborhood to go to the parking lot, the car park of the World Cup, and they cooked food. And they gave food randomly to the people. That's da'wat Allah, wallahi. That's da'wat Allah. One of the best forms of da'wah is it'amut ta'am. And that's what the Prophet used to do. He used to feed people food in the month of Ramadan, giving your neighbor samosas and other. That's from the best da'wah. From the best da'wah. He slaughtered a camel, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, brought Quraysh in Mecca. They ate the food, and then he got up and he started giving them da'wah to Allah. And he told the people, Afshu salam, wa at'imu ta'am, wa sallu bil-layl, wa nas niyam. Give salams to people. Also, give people food and stand up at night when other people are sleeping, feeding food. That's what they did. Now, I know these people from Europe, white people and other than them. You give them food, wallahi, these people appreciate stuff like that. All you have to do is look on the internet and look how their minds have changed as it relates to Arabs and Islam. I rate the Qatar people who, they stood their ground. And they had articulate, intelligent representatives speaking English about LGBT. They weren't apologizing. They were like, hey, this is our country, this is our culture, this is our religion, and we're gonna call the shots here. And then the World Cup shows us the israf of these Europeans. These people in this country get me sick. I wanna vomit. I wanna vomit. They get me sick with this double standards and their hypocrisy. They want to put pressure on us and push down our throats while we're here. Homosexuality to our children and all of that. Push it down our throats. We're just minding our business, but they don't push it down my throat. You have to integrate. You have to respect where you are. You have to respect our country. You're not in your country, you're here, all right? When you go over to Qatar, why don't you have the same thing? Why don't you do the same thing? And that's why I get sick and tired of the Muslims who are always on the back foot, always on the defensive, always apologizing. That's our country and our land. So have some fortitude and some strength to say to the people, here we stand, and this is our land, this is our religion, this is what our ajdad left behind. You get with the program. But unfortunately, the Muslims, we're people who want to kick balls around. Now, after praising Qatar and giving them the i'tiraf that they deserve, I have a problem. Al-israf is spending 200 billion pounds just for the infrastructure of the World Cup. That's what Qatar did. That's a lot of money. And I swear by Allah, the Nabi of al-Islam wouldn't have never done something like that. Especially when, as I told you, in Sudan, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, and other parts of the Muslim world, and other parts of Europe, and other people are dying, starving. Life is difficult. We're gonna spend 200 billion pounds just for the infrastructure. What about maintaining it? What about providing for everybody who's there? What about after the World Cup? All of that money for a ball to be kicked around? That's not our religion. And as you sit there, some people will listen to me and say, this guy is mutshaddid. This guy is shadid. This guy is the one who's... No, I don't think that's the shaddud. The companions of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they wrestled. They raced. They did archery. Al-Islam came with us and told us about al-riyada, Sports in Islam is a good thing. It is a good thing. But not like that. Not like that. So I want to say to the community, and I want to say to you brothers here, I'm not here saying playing soccer, football is haram. It's not haram by itself. But what is haram is for a man to sit there watching other men running around after a ball. And have you seen some of the reactions of the Muslims when their team wins? Or when they score a goal? Or when the other team score a goal? That's why they call fans fanatics. A fan, short, is mukhtasar for fanatic. He's fanatical. I've seen some things you won't believe. Wallahi, you won't believe. When a team scores the goal, the team he's rooting for scores the goal, he breaks the door off of the hinges, running around like a madman. And if the other team scores, he breaks the TV, he loses his mind. That's not our religion. That's not our religion. So I said, alhamdulillah, that gave me the ability and he gave me a lisan, gave me eyes and ears to be able to come here today on my brothers and in front of my brothers in this ummah to say to you, Ya ummatil Islam, ayn al-rijal, ayn al-rijal. Where are the men of our community? Don't get me wrong. I am not against having fun and joy. You know the Nabi of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he had ghayra. But he used to have his wife, our mother Aisha, and he used to run. Who from amongst us did that? One of you show me who from amongst you went out to the park and you said to your girl, to your wife, come on, let's run, let's race. Who did that? Wallahi, the Prophet was Hakim, he was Aqil, he was Munsif, he was balanced. But in the religion of Islam, balance is not what we see happening with the Muslims as it relates to this World Cup. It is not what is acceptable. And another thing, you know the Zionists, the protocols of the Zionists, the protocols. In one of those protocols, they said, let's keep the people busy with sports and games. Let's keep the people munshagilun with sports and games. And that's why all those people make all that money. David Beckham. David Beckham is going to make 120 million pounds to be the ambassador of the World Cup. For the next 10 years, that man is going to get a gang load of money just to be the representative. What are you doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? If anybody deserves that kind of money, it's someone who is enlightening the community and helping the community, giving life to the community. So brothers in Islam, I'm not here to throw water on your fire or to be negative. I'm here to switch a light on. We have to get our priorities straight. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى التوفيق والسداد. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا وطيبا مباركا فيه. أما بعد. You know the haqq, the truth. The haqq is heavy. The haqq is heavy. It's thaqeel. It is heavy. If someone came and told me in my younger days, you can't watch American football, you shouldn't watch it, I say, man, get out of here. You crazy, you lost your mind. You better go find your mind somewhere. But I was a kafir back then. And I wasn't judging with the mawazin of al-Islam. I'm telling you brothers here today, you want to watch that World Cup? Then know for surety, looking at the awrat of men, that's LGBT in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying you're gay or anything like that, but what man watches other men running around? Who does that? Watching other men running around. When you sit there and you watch that program, and all of that time goes by and salat comes and goes, know that you're falling into a kabira from the kaba'ir. Football makes you munshagil on what is wajib. Your family needs shopping, your wife needs attention, your children need attention, and we're with the World Cup. Karam, Farik. Last thing I want to mention, Ikhwani, is Allah has blessed us with someone. If David Beckham deserves 120 million pounds paid over the next 10 years for being the ambassador, our imams who memorize the Quran, they deserve 120 million pounds. They deserve 120 million pounds. 120 million pounds. You know what this masjid can do with 120 million pounds? What Islam can do with 120 million pounds? We're asking from our community, just give us 10,000 pounds, guys. Give us 10,000 pounds. That's what we can't even come up with 10 grand. And these people are ready to give all that dough. Anyway, one of our imams, he's come here. He's helping us tremendously here. He's looking for a small, clean apartment. If anybody has availability, you have or you know someone who can help us out with this is absolutely imperative. Because if we don't get this man a place to stay, it's going to have a knock-on negative effect as it relates to our madrasa. And the madrasa, alhamdulillah, is really moving forward and it's picking up. And we're asking you people to help us with what we're paying for. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna wa'dallahi haqqa. Oh, you people, the promise of Allah is the truth. Don't let this dunya fool you. Don't let this dunya fool you and make us not realize what the reality of this situation is. Give fi sabilillah to that thing which is going to benefit us now and benefit us later. We ask Allah Ta'ala to give all of us the success, inshaAllah Ta'ala, to help us to navigate in this dunya, help us to navigate in a way that is legislated, without having any ghulu, without having any tanattu', without having any tashaddud, without going overboard in any of our issues, but to make us those people who are on the sirat al-mustaqim, those people who are balanced, and those people who are on the right sabil, the sabil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Establish the salah. Aqim as-salah. Yarhamakumullah.